Are we in a pivotal moment where we're more dependent on companies like JPI to build? And is it going to look kind of like what we saw coming out of the great financial crisis, where on the single family side, we saw the larger home builders became bigger and a lot of smaller groups kind of disappeared?
It's our view that in this capital markets environment in particular, there is an advantage to scale, particularly with an integrated business like JPI's, where we do have design that we've brought in-house. We are an integrated GC, and we've further integrated, which Kylie can talk about on some of the trades side of the business. And we believe that that's giving us an advantage in a more difficult capital markets environment to be able to, find ways to still get projects built when, return requirements, remain the same and capital continues to be expensive. It's also difficult in today's environment when lending standards have gotten much more strict than they were in the lower interest rate environment period to have banks supporting, some of those smaller groups. And so we do think that's also an advantage with scale to have those capital relationships that are still continuing to lend to or invest with folks that, have large scale business and are able to find competitive advantages through that. So we do think that that is a trend that will continue. And as we look forward towards the next 5 and 10 years in the markets that we're targeting, we're really looking to be that large market share provider in the markets that we go in. We look at data on a regular basis, and part of the data that we look at is, if we're taking, 10 or 15% market share, what does that mean? Who are the other developers in a market? How do we look at that opportunity? Because if we are going into a market, we think it's important to have that size and scale to have a sustained competitive advantage.